Titanic, 6 myths that persist. Over a century after the sinking of the iconic passenger ship. Introduction to the topic. The RMS Titanic, the largest and most majestic passenger ship ever built at the time, was on its maiden voyage from Southampton, England to New York, USA, when it struck an iceberg in the icy waters of the North Atlantic. The sinking resulted in 1,500 deaths and filled newspapers with stories of heroes and villains. Everyone knows the story of the Titanic, once hailed as an unsinkable ocean liner and the largest and most luxurious ship in the world. Naturally, the sinking of the Titanic has not escaped the conspiracy theories that flood our world. Scene 1. The unsinkable ship. As soon as the waters swallowed the Titanic in the early hours of April 15, 1912, myths began to circulate about its design and construction. One of the most persistent is that the Titanic was unsinkable. The builders claimed it was practically unsinkable, an unfortunate statement that would haunt both the builder and the owner for years. Scene 2. It's Achilles' heel scene. Building ships of this size was a significant challenge. The Titanic had a critical flaw. Its rudder was considerably smaller compared to the design of Cunard Line ships. Not enough thought was given to how a 260-meter ship could turn in an emergency. Scene 3. Speeding scene. Another myth is that the Titanic was trying to break a speed record on its maiden voyage. In reality, not all of its boilers were fired up, and it was taking a longer route to avoid icebergs. The Titanic's top speed was 21 knots, far short of the 26 knots of Cunard Line ships. It did not attempt to cross at full speed due to potential risks to the engine. Scene 4. J. Bruce Ismay, president of White Star Line, has been portrayed as a coward for escaping the ship while other passengers were left behind. But was this really the case? Ismay helped load lifeboats and boarded one himself when no other passengers were around. He was condemned by public opinion in the United States, but was praised upon his return to the United Kingdom. 5. The cowardice of the boss. The popular press turned Captain Smith into a hero, but was he really? Smith ignored ice warnings and allowed lifeboats to launch partially filled. Smith failed the passengers and crew. The lack of sufficient lifeboats and his handling of the situation unnecessarily added at least 500 names to the list of the dead. Scene 6. Captain Smith's heroism. Conspiracy theories. Although many Titanic artifacts have been recovered over the years, and there are documents that unquestionably attest that the ship that sank on that fateful April day was the flagship of the White Star Line, some speculate it was actually a deliberate explosion. One conspiracy theory suggests that the ship that sank was not the Titanic, but its twin, the Olympic. According to this theory, the shipping company swapped the ships to save on the costly repairs of the Olympic and collect the insurance money. Experts firmly state that swapping one ship for another would not have been possible due to technical specifications such as size and the number of cabins. Additionally, the logistics of switching a new ship for an older one without anyone noticing would have been extremely complicated. Final reflection. The Titanic stands as a monument to overconfidence in technology and a reminder of our vulnerability to nature, but it also symbolizes the era of great migrations in search of a new life. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the myths of the Titanic. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.